I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by my co-host with Harrison Bader like hair,
Yeah, it's a weird ordeal. Katie is just proving to be childish.
which is why I don't feel I would give $5 million to Jack Campbell.
I don't know. Baseball is one of those sports where anyone who makes the playoffs really can be a contender.
I think the Padres definitely do it.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell gets traded.
Kyrie Irving does have the track record of not being a great locker room fit, or even good locker room fit.
Bader got some luscious locks. I gotta say it.
This is Zach Bigley, the broadcaster for the Frisco Rough Riders, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin. You guys better subscribe.
What's up, y'all? It is that time of year. Something new to me. But I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by Mr. October, Austin.
Well, the Yankees missed the playoffs this year, Kevin. So I don't know if I'm Mr. October this year. I'm still gonna watch plenty of games, but it's tough knowing that we have arguably the second best player in baseball, and we can't get it done.
That's true. Yeah, but you've been here enough. You've watched it enough. You got the predictions. You're Mr. October, and yeah, it's something. I feel when the Rangers made it in 2015, 2016, I wasn't that locked into it, but this year I've been locked into it. So
That's
it's
good.
just insane when they.
Doesn't it feel better when you're with the team the entire year and you're with the highs, with the lows, and when you make it does mean something.
It does. I've been with. I really thought Joey Gallo would be here, and I was like, "Are we gonna face Joey Gallo in the playoffs? That would hurt me." But no,
It's possible. It's possible.
It is possible. That would hurt me. But I was in my Joey Gallo jersey watching it at the phone at a friend's. I was like, I got to see this, which is incredible. So, yeah, I think it's been a long road, and I'm so happy to be here. They finally made it. It's wonderful. But yeah, let's start with the AL, and let's start with the Rangers Rays series.
I'll let you go first. You're the Rangers fan. Tell me how this series ends up.
I love the Rangers. I'm happy we made the playoffs, but it's not going to go well. I have the Rays sweeping them 2-0. It's just the bullpen. It's like I've always been uneasy with the bullpen, but the stat that they are the worst bullpen in the history for a playoff team really, I think, states why you should be concerned. It's under 50% of the time for saves. That's insane.
Historic. Not in a good way. You usually want to be historic, setting records. This is not a good record to have. This is something you hide in the attic so that no one else can see it when they come over. But I do have the Rangers winning a game, but I have the Rays winning the series 2-1. I do think that the offense will explode for a game, but again, it doesn't. The Rays being one of the best hitting teams in baseball, along with the worst bullpen in the history of the playoffs, does not mesh. So,
also, like the pitching staff, the Rangers have just dealt with injuries. You got Montgomery starting one. You got Evaldi, and I feel Evaldi's still dealing with some issues, so he's not.
He doesn't look 100%.
Yeah, and then you got Dunning, who's on short rest. I don't think Rangers fans should be upset. Like, hey, we'll fix it. It'll be great. We made it to the playoffs. This is a huge step, and it's a great experience for the young guys. While there is Seager Simeon, there are also a lot of guys that haven't really been in the postseason.
That's true.
So yeah, but yeah, the Rays are they're a great team. We'll get to them more, but let's go to the Jays and Twins. And to me, this is such a close matchup.
Definitely.
There you
go. Okay. Well, I could see this series going any way. I'll start out with that. But I think that the health of this team is under consideration with the Twins, but I think they can get it done. The fact that their pitching is so remarkable. I think we could see two amazing games. That matchup, game one, between Sonny Gray and Kevin Gausman is must-watch television. And I have the Twins sweeping them at home. I have Twins 2-0 with two masterclass starts between Sonny Gray and Pablo Lopez. Maybe a clutch hit or two from Carlos Correa, maybe a clutch hit or two from Michael A. Taylor, who's won a World Series before with the Nationals back in 2019. I see a lot of potential there, but I'm excited for this series.
Yeah, like this is such a razor thin. Like to me the difference is hitting, and I trust the Blue Jays hitting more. But if the Twins get hot, yeah, like you said, they could definitely sweep them. I have it going 3, and I have the Blue Jays winning 2-1. But man, yeah, this could go either way. It's anything can happen. I wouldn't be shocked. It's to me, it's such a razor thin line between these two teams compared to the Rays and Rangers, where I think there's a big difference in that. It's because of the bullpen. But yeah, this is to me. I wanted to start with the AL for. Oh, oops! I wanted the AL first instead of NL, but the AL to me is just so interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Which series do you want to go to next?
Let's stay with the Astros facing the Blue Jays. I'm gonna go Astros here in 5. I think this goes all the way to the Blue Jays because I think the Astros struggle. This is something they do have the experience, but to me they've struggled, so that's why it goes to 5 here. But they still pull it out.
Well, I have the Twins in this series, but I have the Twins getting swept. I think the Astros kind of take control here, and even though they have some experience on that national side, like I said, Correa, World Series winner, Michael A. Taylor, World Series winner, Cy Young candidate, and Sonny Gray, the Twins losing ways in the playoffs will return here, and the Astros' dominance in the playoffs will continue.
All right, now we go to the Rays. We both have Rays versus Orioles. I'll let you go first.
I have the Rays in 5. I think that the inexperience of the Orioles will kind of bite them here. And I think Randy Arozarena, Yandy Diaz take over this series along with some clutch starts by Zach Eflin and Tyler Glasnow.
So I know Felix Bautista's injured, but I really trust the Rays and their bullpen. Even
You mean the Orioles?
Orioles, yeah. Oops, my bad. Thanks. I trust them over the Rays, but I really like this team, and I think the Rays struggle with injuries. And I know some of the Rays have done that, but to me, it's always they just can't quite get there outside of 2020. So that's my issue with them. So I'm going to choose Orioles, but I think the AL I think is going to be a fantastic postseason to watch.
Yeah, I with so many youthful players on the Orioles, I could see this going in multiple ways. So there's a lot, and I'm kind of I just don't know how those rookies or very young players are going to play in their first postseason experience.
That's fair, and I feel they're going to come out at the start electric, and that's how they get the Rays. But so I have them winning in 4. So
okay,
so you have Astros versus Rays. I have Orioles versus Astros. This is to me where the Orioles struggle, that youth struggle, versus the Astros experience. But like I said, this Astros to me they've struggled. I don't really know if I can trust them. So that's why I have this game going the full 7, and the Astros just finding a way to pull it out.
Yeah, I don't have the Astros pulling it out. I have the Rays in 6 with my ALCS MVP being Yandy Diaz. The Rays, I do think, I believe that they will be the road team, even though they have 9 more wins than the Astros. But I still think the Rays are the better team. The Astros' inconsistencies, I think, come to bite them at this point of the year. The Rays, even though they have dealt with some injuries, there's injuries across the board, across the entire MLB, but I think the Rays can get it done.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I don't know about the Rays. My ALCS MVP is Jordan. I think he comes up big hitting. So yeah, that's our AL. Man, I could maybe I'm being too hopeful, but I could see the Rangers going on a run if a miracle happens for the bullpen, or at least winning a couple games. The Twins too, based on that pitching matchup. To me the AL is wide open. I thought the Astros had the dominance, but to me this season they have showed that they've struggled. So it's really wide open.
I totally agree. Let's go to the NL.
Yeah, the NL, I'm very intrigued. Let's start with Brewers Miami Marlins. I'm curious because the last time Miami was in, okay, do the 20. What were you saying? What do you want?
The Brewers face the Diamondbacks.
Oh, Brewers face the Diamondbacks. Okay, my bad.
Well, let me just
So
fact check that. Let me fact check at that to
okay,
make 100% sure. But I'm
thought
almost 100% sure that the Diamondbacks are the 6th seed. Yeah,
really?
it's Brewers and Diamondbacks.
Oh yeah, it's my bad. Thank you. Well, I still have the Brewers winning over the Diamondbacks. And it will be in 3.
Okay. I have the Brewers beating the Diamondbacks sweep. Too good at pitching, even though that I think that the some of the Brewers players will struggle to hit. The inexperience that most of the players on Diamondbacks have, along with the Brewers, a lot of guys have been there but done that. I do think that they sweep them. And then Phillies versus Marlins is next.
Yeah, so a divisional matchup, and I believe we don't really count the 2020 postseason when the Miami Marlins were in the
No,
playoffs.
we
Yeah.
don't. I don't. So
Yeah.
I still consider it to where they've won a World Series every time they made the playoffs. This is the
Gotcha.
first time. And think about it. They also didn't get this by advantage. They are the 5 seed. So even if this was back in 2018, they would have made the playoffs in that year.
Yeah.
So being the 5 seed, this is legit. This is their first actual playoff berth that I will count as meaningful. And I have the Marlins winning in 3. David
Yeah.
Robertson going against his old team in the Phillies. Last year, he was with them pitching in the World Series. This year, he's one of the Marlins' best relievers. I think Luis Arias has an amazing series. People forget Yuli Gurriel is on the Marlins. That's an experienced veteran that has been there and won 2 World Series. One of them questionable, but he's definitely one of them. But he struggled this year. But you got to understand that when the playoffs come around, the guys that have that experience, it does matter. And you go to another guy that has a ton of experience in the playoffs, Joey Wendell. Joey Wendell, the starting, he really plays shortstop for them, but he can play third base sometimes. Joey Wendell, he is a guy that was in the World Series with the Rays back in 2020. They're starting third baseman that season. Or you go to Jorge Soler, the World Series MVP. This team has plenty of postseason experience, and I can't wait to see this series go because I think it's going to be a really close one. That's why I have the Marlins winning in 3.
I have this game going as 3, but I differ. I go to the Phillies. I feel they just kind of turn it on for this postseason. We'll have to see though, because we've talked about some of the you've talked about some of the concerns, and also Miami. I was very curious on where you go with Miami. I feel what the Phillies did last year. I feel they can do it, and I'm just very intrigued what Bryce Harper does. Does Kyle Schwarber turn it around because he is hitting below 200? And the pitching to me, I know Aaron Nola is not playing well, but hasn't played well to his standards. But I'm very intrigued. So I feel this goes 3, and I just have the Phillies over them.
Okay.
So we have Braves versus their divisional opponent. You have Braves versus Marlins. I have Braves versus Phillies. I'll let you go first. What happens to the Marlins?
I have the Braves winning in 4. I do think the Marlins get a game. I think they're good enough to get a game. Strider seems like someone that can have either a shutout or can give up 6 runs. So I do think they win the game versus Strider. Maybe the Marlins, I'll go out there and say it, Marlins win game 1 of this series. Okay. But I do think they falter. I do think that the Braves will end up winning this series in 4 games with Acuna, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, Matt Olson all taking over. It'll be too much. And even though the Marlins, like I said, I do think win at least 1 game, the Braves are just that good.
Yeah, the Braves are just that good. I think the Phillies put up a fight, and it goes to 5, but yeah. I think the Braves still pull it out. I am intrigued, though, because they were such a great team last year, and they kind of faltered. But I think they have I think Acuna being incredible helps them, but we'll have to see. But yeah, okay, so you and I both have the Braves, and then let's go to the matchup that we share, and that's the Dodgers versus Brewers.
Yeah, Dodgers versus Brewers. I have Dodgers in 5. The Brewers are extremely talented, but the fact that they can't hit will come back to bite them. It's Mookie, it's Freddie, it's JD Martinez, it's Mac Muncy, it's so many guys that are starting to play much better. And Clayton Kershaw, and I know they're kind of struggling starting pitcher wise, but they still have a great bullpen. Uh, I have the Dodgers in a very hard fought 5-game series.
I also have it being a hard fought series, but I don't know. I'm probably sipping the Brewers Kool-Aid because I really love this pitching staff, and I do think the Dodgers have struggled pitching, as you mentioned. I could definitely see the Dodgers pulling out, but I just believe in this Brewers starting pitching and that bullpen. So I have them being a hard fought series, but I just think something happens with the Dodgers and the Brewers pull it out and they go to the NLCS.
My biggest problem with the Brewers, and this reminds me of the 2021 series with the Braves, is the Brewers won game 1 in that series 2-1, but then lost game 2 3-0, lost game 3 3-0, lost game 4 5-4. Their pitching was outstanding in that series, outstanding. Their team ERA was 3.18, and you should win every series that you have a 3.18 ERA as a team. The problem was the Braves had an ERA of 1.54. I don't know if they're going to be able to hit. I do not question their pitching. I think that they could have another 3.18 ERA in this series against the Dodgers. I do not doubt that. However, can they get the necessary hits? That's the question. Now, you obviously think they do, but I haven't seen anything this season to prove to me that they can.
I'm going with my gut feeling and the pitching, and I'm very curious on how Willie Adames does.
Yeah, he struggled this year.
Okay, he struggled this year because the last time I believe he was in the playoffs, because the Brewers didn't make it last year, or did they?
No, they did not. Last time he was in the playoffs. Oh, the last time he was in the playoffs was against the Braves in that 2021 series where he hit 294.
Okay, so he was part of that. Okay, cool. All right, but yeah, I'm very intrigued. And so I'm going to ride the pitching in this matchup. However, I believe we have the same NL winner for the NL.
No.
Oh, okay. So I have Braves winning because of the Dodgers or because of the Brewers. Okay. So
what's the series? How
long? So I have it being 6. Braves win in 6.
Your NLCS MVP is
Michael Harris.
Love that. That's a great pick. I went Dodgers in 5.
Okay.
I think that the Dodgers win at home, and this is a dominant series. You remember the series between the Braves and the Dodgers in the NLCS in 2021?
Yes.
Right. That series people thought was going to be hard fought, close, but the Braves ended up winning in 6 in dominant fashion. They won Game 4 9-2. So I think this is kind of a flip to the script, and the Dodgers end up winning this series. And it's an MVP matchup, and I have my NLCS MVP being Mookie, proving that he should be the MVP this season.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll get into that in future videos. But yeah, okay, I like the pick. Yeah, I've been down on the Dodgers, but I could see the Braves losing. I don't know. I don't trust the Braves, even though I feel they're such a great team. But same thing last year. I also don't trust the Dodgers, but we'll have to see. Very intrigued. Okay, so you and I both have rematches in the World Series.
Yes, you have the 2021. I have the 2020.
Okay, cool. So we follow each other. You go 2020. I go 2021. Does the team get revenge?
No. I have the Dodgers winning in 7 with Freddie Freeman as the World Series MVP, winning his 2nd ring.
That's crazy. Oh, yeah, we got that. All right. And a more traditional ring for the Dodgers.
Much more traditional.
Much more traditional. Yeah,
no question behind this one.
Yeah. The Astros do not get revenge to me because they've struggled this year, and I'm believing in the Braves. Braves win in 5. My MVP is Acuna. I think I'm curious how much Acuna steals in the postseason this year.
It's going to depend on matchup, but I do think he'll have a lot. He's extremely fast, and he knows how to read the pitcher. And the way the rules are now, where you can only do so many pickoff moves, you can't do 3.
Yeah.
After you do 1, you're kind of stuck. So you don't want to put yourself in that bind where if you don't get him on the second one, well, now he can just steal because you can't pick off. I hate that rule. That's probably my least favorite rule, even more than the pitch clock, is the step off rule,
Okay.
or not the step off, but a pick off, because it does allow the person stealing a base so much advantage, even more than the bigger bases, because you can just time it perfectly, and it makes it extremely easy.
And this is where you have a catcher of Maldonado's value really comes into play. As he hits, he's probably hitting better now, right?
I'll check. Who is your World Series MVP? Oh no. How many games was the World Series? That's
5.
5. Okay. Maldonado is hitting better. It's at 191. It was at 180. It was at 180 last time we checked.
Is
it was
he
180.
hitting better than Schwarber?
No, Schwarber's hitting 197. Let me check Gallo though. Gallo and him were tied at. Gallo was at 180 and Martin Maldonado was at 180. Let's check. Gallo is 177. So since we talked last, Gallo went down 3 percentage points. Wow. Martin Maldonado went up 11. So actually not that bad of a year for Maldonado. He's hit better than he has the last 2 years.
True. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe. But yeah. So okay. So we both have the NL winning. Yeah, the NL is just incredible. Very intrigued with this year's playoffs. Okay. So you have Mookie in the NLCS, then Freeman. I have a Harris, and then I have Acuna.
And then just recapping ALCS, I have Yandy. You have Jordan.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, let us know what you think. Also, the points for this are I almost said World Cup, Wild Card 1, ALDS 2, ALCS 4, World Series 8, MVP 2. That's for all the MVPs that we get right. And then games are 1. If I get the right games, it's always 1. But the deeper you go into the playoffs, the more it matters. So that's how we display it in our postseason. In Austin, Mr. October, take the game ball to close it out.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please let us know who's winning the World Series this year and your prediction. Kevin and I obviously disagree very much since we don't even have either team making the World Series, let alone the team winning it all. So let us know what you guys think. Are we missing any surprise teams that could go on any runs? But thank you guys for listening, and please catch us in our next video.